Shalonda's Short Stories, written by Shalonda Reese. Story number 10, Bertha's Hair Salon. Bertha Horton's Hair Salon was located in the heart of Johnsonville County. She was affectionately known as Miracle Hands because early in her business, she had much success with clients due to their hair growing down their backs once they became her client. Bertha had been in business for only 5 years. Because she was so popular, Bertha was making nearly $200,000 a year. Bertha had a nice two-story house that was paid for, a nice car, a stylish wardrobe, and access to the best food in the market. But she was not satisfied. As she gained more and more clients, she started increasing her prices to the dissatisfaction of some of her clients. But many of them stayed and paid because she was excellent at her job. When Bertha observed that her clients still remained with her after her price increase, she increased them even more. Now her annual salary was approaching $280,000. Bertha became very greedy. After a while, clients started complaining that they were not getting the same results. Clients whose hair was once thriving under Bertha's care was now falling out or thinning. When clients complained or expressed concern over a hairstyle, Bertha ignored them and demanded that they pay. After a few months, Bertha noticed that her clientele gradually started to fall off. Each week, she was averaging 2 cancellations. There were some clients who used to go to her every 2 weeks, now had been absent for 3 or 4 months. One evening, after only having 2 clients the whole day, Bertha slumped in her chair. She was embarrassed that she had now gone from being called Miracle Hands to Destructive Hands. She gathered her belongings and headed out the door. Bertha saw a slight woman who looked to be about 80 years old. The lady was pushing a buggy full of empty water bottles. Bertha ignored her, got in her car, and drove away. That night, Bertha lay in bed looking at her online reviews. Former customers had taken their business to another town and were encouraging other customers to not patronize her shop. Anger rose up in Bertha's heart as she read the reviews. She did feel a pang of guilt because she knew she took advantage of her popularity by increasing her prices. Bertha called her Aunt Rita. "Hey, Bertie." "Hey, Aunt Rita. How was your day?" "Depressing. My clients are dropping off and writing bad reviews about me." "Now, why are they doing that?" "They just don't appreciate what I do for them, complaining about my services and prices, as if my prices are supposed to stay the same forever." There was a bit of silence for a moment. Bertha knew her clients had a legitimate gripe. Aunt Rita had also become aware of Bertha's dwindling clientele as she heard from her neighbors who live on the opposite side of town that Bertha was no longer Miracle Hands, but Destructive Hands. "Bertie, dear." "Yes, Auntie." "Sometimes you have to reset. That means go back to doing things how they were before." Bertha felt indignant. She felt that she earned the right to increase her prices since she was so good. "Okay," Bertha said grudgingly. As Bertha lay in bed, she closed her eyes. She let her mind wander. Her thoughts wandered onto the old lady she saw earlier that day as she was leaving the shop. "I've never seen her before." She let her mind wander some more. Her thoughts came back to the old lady. "Why am I thinking about this lady?" Bertha's heart started to ache for the lady. She eventually fell asleep. The next morning, Bertha's cell phone rang. "Hello, this is Bertha's Hair Salon, isn't it?" "Yes." "Hi, Bertha. My name is Henrietta. Remember me? I'm sorry, I have to cancel today. Something came up." Thanks for letting me know. Bertha decided not to go into the shop that day because her only client that day canceled. Bertha sauntered into the kitchen and made some coffee. She jumped on her computer, logged onto her website, and lowered her prices. She hung around her house a little longer before changing her mind to going to the shop. She felt that maybe she would get a walk-in that day. As Bertha drove to the shop, she did something she had not done in a long time. She took her time and enjoyed the scenery. Despite how boring she thought Johnsonville was, it was a very beautiful and serene town. She let down her window and let the cool air hit her face as she cruised down the street. She actually felt good in that moment. As Bertha got out of the car, she noticed the old lady from the other day. She was pushing the same buggy this time, only filled with a few empty water bottles. The wind was blowing hard in that moment. The old lady's hat flew off. She left her buggy and ran after it. What Bertha noticed was that the woman was bald. The woman caught her hat and embarrassingly and quickly put it back on her head. The old lady walked by Bertha with her head down, for she was embarrassed. Bertha went into the shop to get things ready in hopes that a walk-in would show up. After about 2 hours and no clients, Bertha sat in a chair and turned on the television. She thought about making a sign that said, "Half off for first-time customers." That would be a great way to bring in new clients, Bertha said to herself. She went to the back of the shop and got poster board and a black marker. She fished around for some tape as her mind wandered back on the old lady. Bertha went back to the front of the shop. As she started to write on the poster, she saw the old lady pass by pushing her buggy. Bertha pasted the sign to her window. The old lady stopped, read the sign, and continued to push her buggy. After about another 2 hours, Bertie, who was bored, texted her aunt. The phone rang. "Hey, Aunt Rita." "Bertie, is everything all right?" "Yes, why would you think something was wrong?" "You never text or call during the day because you're so busy. I thought maybe something was wrong." Bertha chuckled. "No, everything is okay. I came into the shop today. My only client today canceled this morning. I guess I'm just trying to pass the time." Aunt Rita said nothing for a moment. "Auntie, are you still there?" "I'm still here, Bertie. I never told you this. At first, I didn't understand, but I think I do now, considering what has been happening. When you were 7 years old, you were playing in the backyard, and I was watching you. This was about 2 months after your mama died. I saw light from the heavens shine upon your hands. I just thought maybe it was my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but the light shone directly on your hands and nowhere else." "Really?" "Yes. Your hands are your gift, Bertie." Bertha became overwhelmed as tears flowed down her face. "Thank you, Aunt Rita. I have to go now." Bertha rushed out of the shop and looked down the street. The old lady was crossing the street slowly. Bertha ran down the sidewalk and caught up with her. "Ma'am? Hi." "Hi. I'm Bertha, the owner of the hair salon. I would love to service you. My hands are my gift." The woman just stared at Bertha. I don't have any money to give you." "You don't have to give me any money." Okay, I don't know if you can do much. I've been bald for years. My hair fell out and stopped growing 10 years ago." "We will see what a miracle can do." Bertha allowed the woman to bring her buggy inside of the shop so that no one would steal her belongings. She sat in the chair. Bertha excused herself and went to the back of the room. "Lord, I know I haven't been in contact with you lately. I've done some things I'm not proud of. But if what Aunt Rita told me is true, then that means that you have blessed my hands. Help me to do what you have gifted me to do. I am sorry about taking advantage of customers. I will never do that again. Bertha chose a light serum and oil and mixed it into her hands lightly. She touched the woman's head. Oh, that tingles, she laughed. That feels great. Bertha massaged the woman's bald head and told her to come back every week at the same time. The woman did just that. Each week at the same time, she came back and brought her buggy inside of Bertha's shop. After a while, the old lady stopped coming. During that time, Bertha's business picked back up, and she regained many of her old clients. Their hair started to thrive again. Each night, Bertha thought of the old lady. She got angry at herself for never even thinking to get the old lady's name. Why in the world would I forget to even ask her name? 3 months later, a woman walked in. She was very pretty and looked to be about 30. Bertha was busy with her first client and took the woman to be a walk-in. Are you Bertha? Yes, I'm booked today. Oh, I am not here for service. My name is Jennifer. I am the grandniece of Ola Stanford, the lady whose head you massaged a few times several months ago. Oh, yes, I remember. I wonder what happened because she stopped coming. Yes, she passed. She wanted me to give you this. Jennifer handed Bertha an envelope. Bertha tore open the envelope. Dear Bertha, you are a sweet, dear soul. I am not well, and that's why I stopped coming. You have done what no other person could do. My hair has now grown in 1.5 inches. For the first time in many years, I am not ashamed to go outside without a hat on. Thank you for your kindness. You helped me to look at myself proudly in the mirror for one last time. I hope this check blesses you and your miracle hands. Your buggy pushing friend. Inside of the envelope was a check written out to the salon for $100,000. Bertha stood there with tears in her eyes. Jennifer smiled and hugged Bertha. Thank you for what you did for my grand aunt.